Rob, what completely uninteresting and, what? This is brand new. Story number 4 do we have?
Ooh, well, John, Keegan McBride writes in and says, "Hey, John, we've been wondering for a while what Warner Brothers will do about the Flash movie due to the Ezra Miller situation. It has just been reported from multiple sources that Warner Brothers intends to release the movie in theaters. I think this makes sense. Releasing it on HBO Max or scrapping it would be a large loss of money. What do you guys think on this one?"
All right. Thanks a lot for saying that in, Keegan. And this is all, again, a part of the never-ending, ongoing... I would be so happy if we never have to say the name Ezra Miller again. But Variety just put out a very interesting article in which they did 2 very key things. 3, really. The first thing is they went back to that original incident with the girl that Ezra grabbed her by the throat, who finally told the story about this is what happened. It started off with what she thought was playful, like Ezra Miller showing off some battle wounds and her saying, "Oh, where'd you get these?" "I got them from fight." She says, "I bet I could take you in a fight." And he's like, "Oh, you fucking want to fight?" And she thought it was all just in fun. And then she said, "I thought we're just having a good time and joking around and having fun." And then he grabbed me by the throat. Then he took me to the ground, and then he was screaming in my face. And so it's kind of disturbing to read it. That's the first thing in this Variety article. The next article is a totally new account we've never heard of a woman in Germany that, I mean, you guys can go and find and read the article, but the basic Cole's notes for it is that she had invited Ezra into her home, and then Ezra started smoking, and she said, "I just asked him to stop smoking." To which Ezra got incredibly belligerent, started screaming at her. I won't repeat the things that he's reported as saying that Ezra's reported as saying. You can go read those in the article. Leaving the woman feeling incredibly threatened. Ezra would not leave until she called the police. And the police, the only reason they're not charging him is because he's not in the country anymore. Ezra's not in the country. And as long as they're not in the country, the German prosecutors say we can't do anything about it because they're not here. So there's that. To which all of us would now say, it's Tuesday. I mean, that's just what it's come down with Ezra Miller and their behavior. It's Tuesday. None of us are surprised anymore. None of us are shocked anymore to hear this kind of stuff. But then there's a third thing that Variety mentions in their article that is quite interesting and something worth talking about here. This comes to us from that article in Variety, who wrote the following. As for Miller's future as a movie star, it's unclear whether they will continue to perform as the Scarlet Speedster in future projects. I can tell you that they will not. But Warner Brothers is still committed to releasing its $200 million budget tentpole film, The Flash, in theaters in 2023. According to sources with knowledge of the project, the film simply costs too much for the studio to scrap entirely, and reshooting with a new actor in Miller's role is similarly cost prohibitive because the actor is virtually in every scene. Also, the film likely can't generate the revenue needed to turn a profit without a robust theatrical run, so putting the movie directly on HBO Max is also unlikely. Going to read that top part there again. Warner Brothers is still committed to releasing its $200 million budget tentpole film, The Flash, in theaters. Rob, we've been talking for months now about what does Warner Brothers do with this project. And we've mentioned several options they have. They can try to reshoot, which is cost prohibitive. They can scrap the project altogether, which is far too expensive. You could dump it on HBO Max, which you might as well scrap it because you're not going to make any revenue off it. Or you can just release it and do the best you can. And in recent weeks, we've been saying on this show that we believe ultimately probably the best thing for them to do now is just put it in theaters. Maybe it won't make $700 million, but it could make $200 million. Even with a lot of people refusing to go see it and turned off the project with all the antics of Ezra Miller, it's still going to make some money. Maybe not enough to break even. Pardon me. But if they made $200 million, that's $200 million more dollars than they would have had otherwise.
Yeah.
So to read that Warner Brothers at this point is saying, you know what? We can't scrap it. We can't dump it on HBO Max, and we can't reshoot. So we're left with one option. We're going to put this thing in theaters, and we're going to make as much as we can, and then they will move on from Ezra Miller. Now, again, I continue to hear people say, why would you reward Ezra Miller for their bad behavior? They are not rewarding, by putting this movie in theaters, they are not rewarding Ezra Miller for their bad behavior. They are declining to punish the 1,000 other people who poured their blood, sweat, and tears into this movie and have real stakes in this film as well. Not to mention themselves. Warner Brothers didn't do this. David Zaslav didn't do this, all the stuff that Ezra's doing. So they're kind of looking, why should we be punished? Why should Michael Keaton be punished? Why should all these other people who have poured their, like, why should Andy Muschietti be punished? The director of the film. Look, we understand this isn't going to do as well as it can, so let's just dump it in theaters. Rob, there's one other angle to this. And one of our viewers wrote to me expressing it well, and I agree with them to a degree. I probably believe there's still a good chunk of the average movie-going audience that doesn't even know about the Ezra Miller drama.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, all of us do. Everybody like us who makes shows like the John Campea Show or watches shows like the John Campea Show, we are all very well versed in it. But there's probably a good chunk. I don't know. Well, I know my mom knows about it because she watches my show. But if my mom didn't watch this show, I'm not sure my mom would know about what's going on. So that's in there too. Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. You know, the one with the delightful ads with good Canadian kid Ryan Reynolds. So look, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't a catch. And guys, that's no joke, because for years I've been using one of the major providers and it was fine. But I switched over to Mint Mobile a little while ago. The service has been fantastic. And the big difference is I'm now paying about 1/3 of what I was paying before. And the best part for anybody who just hates their phone bills is that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, the Variety is now reporting that their sources are saying that, yes, Warner Brothers is steadfast in their commitment. They're going to just release this thing in theaters a year from now and let the chips fall where they may. Do you think that's what they're actually going to do? And if so, is that the right move for them to do at this point?
Okay, this is going to seem weird to say. This news actually made me feel pretty good about this movie because Warner Brothers, if this movie wasn't very good, I don't think they'd have a problem not putting it out or something. I think, and we heard yesterday from someone that this movie is quite good. Maybe the best of the DC movies, that it's really well done. It's hugely entertaining. It's everything that you want. I think Warner Brothers is saying they know that, yeah, if you're a movie pundit, you follow these stories, but the general population doesn't. They don't care. You know, they're leading their lives of quiet desperation. You know, they're putting food on the table. They're paying their taxes, whatever. They're not worried about Ezra Miller's antics. But when a Flash movie comes out, they're like, hey, there's a Flash, let's go see it. And if the movie's really good, and if Warner Brothers, I think Warner Brothers knows how good it is, the fact that they just said, you know what, we're going to put it out, leads me to believe it's really good, and it would overcome even us, even the critical movie pundit voices that will scream in terror on the internet. It will supplant that, because even we, John, as harsh critics as we can be sometimes, if we like the movie, we'll say it. You know, we'll be like, the movie's really good. I mean, I don't know if Warner Brothers should have given Ezra Miller this time, but it wasn't, like you pointed out, you put it so beautifully, it's why punish all the people that made the movie? You know, I think this movie's probably really, really good. I'm hoping it's really good. And I think that at the end of the day, they have to release the film. It's a year from now. Maybe Ezra Miller, clearly, for whatever reason, he is troubled. I mean, this kind of behavior, it's ongoing. And when we hear these accounts, and I think, you know, he needs help. And maybe he'll get that help. in the time being, and from now until then. And people have a comeback story. Maybe he can apologize. Things will go on in his life. We don't know what's going on in his life. I don't know. And maybe it'll all work out even for the best. Everyone loves a redemption story. He gets the help he needs. He apologizes. The movie comes out. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I know. It's a
with
tough
half
one.
the stories of the stuff we're hearing about them doing now, it may take more than an apology and let's move on. But here's the thing, too. We as film fans can often be like house dogs in the sense that we have no sense of time.
Right.
Because I've already heard some conversations online. I've heard some conversations online of people saying, well, with all this going on, why are they making this movie with them? It's like, no, you don't understand. By the time the real bad stuff, the movie was already shot. And I think like sometimes we as film fans, we forget that sense of time sometimes, right? That when all this was going on and when we found out about, the young girl being pulled out of the school and a restraining order being issued and the couple having Ezra bust into their room, like waving a weapon at them, or like another girl having a chair thrown in their face. By the time all that was coming out, it's not like Warner Brothers was, well, we're getting ready to go and shoot this Flash movie.
Right.
Let's keep, no, the movie was shot. And so that's why, like in many ways for them as a studio, it's like, we get it. Ezra's problematic, but why should our investment take a hit for that? It will. It's not fair, but they just got to do the best they can at this point.
And the thing is, their real life situation, whatever's going on in their life, who knows? And again, does their situation have really anything to do with the movie?
Right.
Like that, I know it's separating the art from the artist, but if they're having a terrible time, something's going on, we don't know what's going on in their life. I don't know. If Ezra is having some real difficulty, let's hope that they get the help that they have to have. That doesn't have anything to do with my enjoyment of watching a Flash movie. Yeah. I mean, I think that I can, to be honest, I've always been able to disassociate. There's always been horrible people in Hollywood, and I've been able to disassociate myself because, when you watch movies, like we pointed out, it's the work of so many people. And it's sort of like movies are alchemy. There's a little bit of magic involved in making them. And if one person and that person, they need help, hopefully they can get that. But I don't think it should ever hamper my enjoyment of a movie. And that's selfish, I know. But if it's good and it looks, everything we heard about it, it looks good. Flashpoint, I'm so excited. I really want to see this movie.
See,
and does that make me a bad person, John? Am I a bad person?
Look, you go into any restaurant. For all you know, the person who prepared that steak that's coming out may be the biggest asshole in the world. That's done terrible. You just never know. All you know is that you cut a piece of the steak off, take a bite, and it's delicious. But here's the thing, too. It goes back to something else. We would not be in this situation if the former regime at Warner Brothers, when that first infamous incident happened of Ezra being at a nightclub, who was it, Iceland? Finland? Whatever, during COVID, choked a girl and took her to the ground, we would not be in this situation right now to the degree that it's at if Warner Brothers has stepped in and done something. But they took the approach of, shh, we're not going to talk about it. Let's distract. Nobody will talk about it. The movie's still away. Everybody. If Warner Brothers, and I get it. I can hear it now. I can already hear people going, but John, Warner Brothers like to hit parents. Oh, no, I'm not saying they are. But look at Ezra as an investment.
Yeah. A business partner.
A business partner. You pull their ass in and you say, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You are playing with our money. You are playing fast and loose with our projects and our business. So here's what's going to happen, Ezra. You're going to sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up for the next 2 years, or you will never work in this business again. And we are concerned for you. This is for your own good too. But instead what they do, no, don't mention anything. They should have said, not only that you're going to get on fucking camera, you're going to apologize to the people of that country. You're going to apologize to your castmates for creating this distraction. And then you're going to keep your head down You're going to promote this movie in like 6 months. We're going to let some time pass. 6 months, you're going to keep your nose clean, blah, 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 blah. But instead, they played the silence game and said, we're just going to keep quiet, blah, blah, blah. And Ezra saw that there was no consequences to their actions. And when you see that there are no consequences to your actions, like Homelander, you just keep doing your actions. And if that older regime at Warner Brothers had done their jobs, protected their investment, we wouldn't be in this
and their
situation.
shareholders' investment.
And their shareholders' interest. That's a great point.
And also, another thing, first of all, they got around. They have an incredible jet-setting lifestyle. I'm in Germany. No, I'm in Reykjavik here. I'm in Hawaii. And that sounds like it would be fun. But like you said, this is an ongoing pattern that has gone on. It's now being reported over years now. And
they could have nipped it in the bud.
They could have.
The old regime in Warner Brothers had an opportunity to nip it in the bud, and they didn't. But anyway, enough of that. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Apparently, Warner Brothers has set course that they are going to release this movie. Let's be honest here. There's no 100% right answer to this situation. There just isn't. This just might be the best of a bad option. Anyway, guys, questions for you. What do you think about that? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.